Verse 6 says, at midnight the cry rang out, here's the bridegroom, come out and meet him. He's here at last, after all this long wait, he's here, come on, let's go out and meet him. At midnight. Now I have heard that the darkest time during the night is between 1 o'clock a.m. and 3 o'clock a.m. I am told that that is the darkest period of the night, because that is when the moon is at its lowest. Let us notice here, the bridegroom comes at 12 o'clock. He comes before the darkest hour. The darkness may seem bad to us right now. We're threatened with a worldwide economic meltdown. All that we as Christians have believed to be wholesome and good is trashed. Everything we believe to be bad is now being applauded. England has become a cesspool of unrighteousness, and we think times are dark. But the darkest hour is yet to come, and that will be the 7-year tribulation period. It will be worse than anything since the beginning of time. But the wise bridesmaids, listen to this folks, the wise bridesmaids will never see that darkest of all dark periods, the 7 years of tribulation. How do I know? Because the bridegroom comes at midnight, which is before the darkest hour. Isn't that good news? The question I must ask right now is this: are we all ready? Which group do we belong to? The wise bridesmaids or the foolish bridesmaids? Which group do we belong to? I constantly have to ask myself this question all the time. And here's how we might know which group we belong to. Do we live by this book called the Bible? Do we live by this book? I'm not talking about just an intellectual reading of it, an intellectual understanding of it, but do we believe it and do it? James tells us that we prove what we believe by what we do. So do we believe it and then do it? I'm not talking about us being humanly perfect. You know, some of you may be thinking, oh, this is frightening me because I'm so imperfect. There's this problem in my life, that problem, this weakness, that weakness. I'm not talking about being humanly perfect, because if that was the requirement, not one of us, including me, would be going. But I'm talking about an unswerving commitment to Jesus Christ and to his word. Following Jesus, obeying Jesus, that's how you know which group you belong to. And if your answer is yes, yes, I do that, John, I do, then verse 10 of this story applies to you, which says this: the bridesmaids who were ready went in with him to the wedding, and the door was shut and locked. The door was shut and locked. Now comes the scariest part of this story, verse 11 and 12. But to those who were not ready, the bridegroom later said, you cannot come in. You cannot come in. Why? I never knew you. I never knew you. You know, anyone who reads this book, reads this Bible, and also watches the news, what's going on around the world today, has to admit that this could well be the time. We are getting very, very close to the time. And I tell you what, speaking for myself, I want to be ready. I don't want to hear those words. I never knew you. I never knew you. You claim to be a Christian. You was a pastor for many years. I never knew you. That concept, that thought terrifies me. I want to be one of those that Jesus says to enter into the joys of your Father. Enter into his joys. Well done, you good and faithful servant. That's what I want to hear. I just hope to God I hear those words for myself and for you. God bless you all. Think about these things. Amen.